Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lions channel. We're doing a little film study on Isaac TeSlaa. I still am not comfortable with that name. I swear it's different every time, but it's neither here nor there. We're gonna just go through a handful of clips here because it's preseason and testing a bunch of different things out. Anytime you show like NFL clips, I wish I could just like genuinely go through like the hour of all 22 clips for the Detroit Lions and just like talk about it. Unfortunately, we can't. Maybe one day we can, and obviously Isaac doesn't catch a football in this, but I'm just using this as my opening monologue. Thank you guys so much for all the support on this channel. We're going to go through stuff where he's not even necessarily catching footballs because it's going to be a lot different when Jared Goff is throwing him this football. But one thing you notice right away, like he's open right now, right? One thing you notice anytime he's on the football field or you're watching some of this Lions tape is he's either always open or he is doing something that is going to help out his teammates, aka blocks, what have you. He's kind of deceptively quick, and he's also massive. So without further ado, let's pop right into it. Lions fans, I know you guys were big on him when the season, or I should say when the draft period began. You're going to see this. This was one of those catches against the Los Angeles Chargers in the Hall of Fame game. My favorite part is literally right there. The defensive back that is supposed to be guarding him is currently on his hands and knees, or at least hands and a knee. And, maybe if it's like Jared Goff, he gets the football right now in space, so like he catches it right here and he's able to kind of just go this way. Maybe it's 10 yards, maybe it's 15 yards, maybe it's even 5 yards or what have you. You will see him catch this football. It's just maybe a little bit late, and he's still able to get some yak. But like I said, and you guys see this, like it's not difficult to watch some of these kids in preseason and be like, oh, okay, I see it. I understand it now. Not that anybody was even necessarily doubting Brad Holmes, but now, like, this was one of those moves where this guy got, like, clowned on. Brad Holmes got clowned on. The Lions got clowned on. Why would you spend such a high draft pick? Why would you trade draft picks for this kid? Like, who even is he? He didn't do anything at Arkansas statistically. And that's kind of probably the difference between a guy like Brad Holmes and somebody who's just watching box scores. But Lions fans, once he was drafted to you, you break down the tape, you look at some of this film, the highlights, what have you, you're like, oh, okay. And then we see 2 games of him so far in preseason, and it's like, yeah, see? Sticking with that Hall of Fame game, you see Isaac TeSlaa right here. We'll figure this out. Maybe it's a little bit too thick. Let's even try it out. Hey, it's preseason. Hey, it's preseason. Ooh, I like that way more. It's way less thick. Now, he's running a drag, or at least appears to be a drag, and you're going to see him get hyped up after this. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and all these Lions coaches and players and all this, they all have this certain kind of thing to them where they have this, like, mentally they're just better, if you will. Maybe that's a little bit rude, but like they've got chips on their shoulders and they're intense, like the good kind of intense. And so you'll see here, first off, this is great. And I'll even just let this play out because this is preseason. You could easily just go out of bounds right here. But Isaac, somebody gave me a comment. They said iced tea. I absolutely love that nickname. I'm still working this out. It's crazy how different each comment could be. TeSlaa. All right. TeSlaa. And then you just see him get hyped. He's like, yeah, football guys. That's what Dan Campbell and this Detroit Lions coaching staff wants. They want football guys. So this is a great throw. This is great anticipation, thrown with anticipation. He's got a bunch of yards, or a bunch of field to work with, I should say. And he's going to just lower that shoulder and say, yeah. All right, maybe this clip is stupid. Maybe it's not. This is TeSlaa all the way up here. And this is just like, he's 6'4", right? This dude is 6'4". He's a big dude, and it's evident. And this is just like, he's gonna just literally like lightly push this safety, and he's gonna just hit the ground. Like I said, maybe this is a stupid clip. I don't think it is, because if this was my wide receiver, I'd be like, yeah, All right, I see it. Like, we're all seeing it. And I really don't think it's going to be too long before he's wide receiver number 3. And that has absolutely no shade, as you guys know, to any member of the wide receiver room for the Detroit Lions. But what's even more terrifying about this kid is, first off, like, and I think Dan Campbell said this a few days ago. It might have been after the last preseason game, but I know he said it in the last few days. He was like, his Isaac TeSlaa, his talent, or like, he's better with pads on. And that's like a true indicator of how good is this kid actually going to be, or how good's a rookie going to be in the NFL. Like, you know, you can go through rookie minicamp, you can go through the first part of OTAs or training camp or whatever before the pads are on and everything's all fine and dandy. But how do these kids look when the pads are on? Well, apparently Iced T has gotten even better, which is always a good indicator, but he's 6'4", he's 215, and you got J-Mo, you've got Laporta, but then you've also got Amon-Ra St. Brown, you also got Jahmyr Gibbs, and the list could go on and on. So you're telling me, like, cornerback or defensive back number 3 is going to be guarding this guy, and that's at like best case scenario, right? I can sit here and be like, all right, he'll eventually be wide receiver number 3, but whoever's guarding him is burnt toast. That wasn't that funny. I didn't not show a clip of this touchdown because, you know, it's getting a little bit old of me saying this in every NFL video I make, but it's easy to watch a preseason football game and people are like, oh, it's just preseason. And then if the guy does bad, it's usually with like rookie quarterbacks or year 2 quarterbacks. It's easy for them to say, it's, oh, told you he was a bust. So you either do good and it's just preseason. Oh, look, you're going against the Falcons' 2nd and 3rd string defensive back. Oh, okay, yeah, he's electric. Oh, okay. And then if, you know, you don't really do this for like wide receivers, but let's say he got locked down. Not that anybody's really watching tape of wide receivers getting locked down with 2 minutes left in the second quarter, the second preseason game. Then it becomes, oh, see, I told you he was a bust. So you can never really win. But actually, let's even cut to a face. Ooh, how you like that? How you like that? We're back here with the face. What I was going to rant about, which if you've already watched any video on Will Upton in the last few days, I've been spazzing this take because it's truly genuinely annoying how sports fans are in 2025. I have an alt channel, which is basically me making videos like this, talking about non-football things. You guys are so supportive and like literally like unbelievably supportive, so I'll link that channel down below. I only have like 30 subscribers, so if you're interested. But anyways, I've been ranting about this on Will Upton. When you watch somebody in preseason, like you just saw that touchdown against Atlanta, but it was also obvious, and it's obvious like if you're watching some of these blocks, your eyes don't lie in preseason football, okay? And years ago, you used to, kind of what I was about to rant about, is years ago you used to be able to make an NFL video or watch an NFL video or see a tweet or, you know, see a TikTok, see an Instagram, basically see a social media post, and everybody was very supportive. And I'm not saying Lions fans are even my subscribers in that situation. I'm just saying there's so much negativity out there in the world when it in general, but when it comes to football, there's so much like back and forth, and it's really annoying. And so you look at a dude like Isaac Iced T, and it's clear as day to me whether it is training camp hype, aka Dan Campbell, or anybody who's a Lion player or a Lion coach or a reporter even. Everybody praises this guy like it's insane. And you usually are supportive of your teammates, you're supportive of your players if you're the fan, you're supportive of your players if you're the coach. But this is different. You know, you don't really see, for the time this kid got drafted, with as much hate as there was from the rest of the NFL media, you don't usually see continuous amount of praise about. It's the little things. Like, for all I care, he could have gone 8 of 106 for 2 touchdowns in the, you know, last preseason game against Atlanta. But what we're looking for, and what you should be looking for, and what you're all looking for, is the little stuff. Like, who are these people as people? Who are they as persons? Are they doing the small little stuff? Are they blocking? Are they giving their in and out or their all out in and out of daily practice? That was kind of confusing, but you know what I'm saying. Like, how's their motor? Even though it's a preseason game in the second quarter against the Atlanta Falcons, is he giving it his all? And that's a really cool part about the Detroit Lions culture in general, is they give it their all and they don't tolerate anything less than somebody giving it their all. So that's why I really like the Detroit Lions organization, especially as it is right now, where it's just world class. As a Packers fan, it's just genuinely world class. The character that these people are drafting, the talent they're drafting, just the work ethic, just all that stuff, the intangibles or what have you, that's what Detroit is doing a really good job of, even before the recent playoff success. Even when you guys went 9-8 and beat my stinking Packers twice that season, and that was when I first started making Lions videos, because that was my first year making NFL videos. You guys were like 1-6. I'm watching with my dad, who's, got all his family from Detroit, but he's also a Bears fan. I'm watching my goddamn Packers with my last year Aaron Rodgers get our asses kicked in like week 7 to the Detroit Lions, who had one freaking win. And that was when it would all kind of click. That was when it was like, okay, my eyes are open now. So we're kind of ranting now. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already, and if you enjoyed it. We're gonna do more of these videos. Like I said, I'm still kind of trying to workshop all this stuff. I'm not like the biggest. I love watching film, but obviously, like, I'm not freaking Golden Tate is a random example, but I'm not like this former NFL player, or I'm not a credentialed, Lions beat writer or anything like that. So I'm trying to find my way on this YouTube channel, but you guys have seriously been so supportive throughout my entire Will Upton career covering this team and other teams, but especially on this channel. The love on the last video and ever since we made this channel, it's actually crazy. So thank you guys so much. If you have any videos you would like, if you have anything you want me to make, if you have any critiques, I can't wait to hear it and see it. So thank you guys for watching. It's late Monday night, so maybe happy Tuesday, and we'll see you soon. Peace.